Tell me, folks, whenever we see a success story or a failure story, there are people behind it. How many agree with that? Please raise your hand. Okay. Now, second question that comes is that how many agree that people are our greatest assets? Please raise your hand. Totally incorrect answer. Now, why do I say that, folks? People are not assets. Only good people are assets, rest are all liabilities. Folks, I am not playing on words. I am not playing on words. Only good people are assets, rest are all liabilities. And folks, keep in mind, goodness needs to be cultivated. Evil happens automatically. This is like a farmer. If they want to have a good garden, they must consciously plant good seeds of good flowers and good fruits. But weeds, you don't have to plant, they keep coming to destroy. Yes, no. Automatically they keep coming. Evil happens. See, after the farmer has done hard work, planted good seeds, there's a whole army of insects and weeds ready to destroy his hard work. Now the farmer has a choice. Either get destroyed or destroy them. Both cannot live together. Are you with me? Yes. Both cannot live together. So there is a fight. There is a fight. What does it tell us? That fight is nature's law. Not fighting is not a choice. See, in our body, we have white cells, we have red cells. Folks, what is the function of the white cells? Fight infection. See, medical doctors say that our bodies release every day millions of cancerous cells and millions of immunity cells, and they fight. If the cancer cells are stronger, we're dead. And if the immunity cells are stronger, we live a happy life, healthy life. But there is a fight. So folks, what is the conclusion? Not fighting is not a choice. Whether you like it or not, and if we want to live in peace, we must fight. We have to fight. There is no other answer. And when we fight, and if we have to, which we have to, then our objective is to win. And in order to win, we must be strong. Are you with me? Yes. We must be strong. And my next book that is coming out, we need 6 kinds of strengths in life. 6 kinds of strengths, folks. One is, we need physical strength. I'm just going to share all 6 because I'm not going to have the time to cover all of them. But 1, we need physical strength. 2, we need mental strength. 3, we need emotional strength. 4, we need relationship strength. And 5, we need financial strength. And 6, we need spiritual strength. Are you with me?
Yes.
Anyone missing, we are in deep, deep trouble. Folks, and when we talk of our education system, we need to ensure that we bring our people holistically complete. Holistically complete. And these 6 elements make it holistic. Without them, we are incomplete. And many times you heard people talking like this, that I'm a different person at home, different at work. Not true. Not true. Behaviors don't change. You notice people who are honest at home are honest at work. People who are dishonest at home are dishonest at work. Are you with me? Yes. That's right. Behaviors don't change. Excellent. Folks, Opinions may change, principles don't change. You cheat on your customers, what kind of relationship do you have with your customers? A bad one. Cheat on your family, what kind of relationship do you have with your family? Bad one. Folks, behaviors don't, principles don't change, opinions may change.
Yes.
So till we get our principles right, it's not going to work. When we are talking of behavior, it is the holistic part. You notice one thing. People take family problems to work and work problems to the family. And it all starts from schooling and college. It all starts right from there. Nothing happens overnight. Nothing happens. You see, when people 18, they turn 18, many places you get voting rights, many times you become an adult on 18, and all of a sudden your behavior change. You mean it changed midnight and 17th night? No, it's a 17-year-old mess. It is 17-year-old mess. I'll share with you, I was, without naming anyone, the highest ranking IAS officer, the chief secretary in Gujarat. I finished a program. Husband, wife came over. And he says, Mr. Khera, we have only one daughter. And she is 18, 19 or something like that. And every time she comes back at school, she is watching 5-6 hours of TV. 5-6 hours every day. Can you counsel her? We're willing to pay you money. I said, no, sir. I asked him, I said, tell me, she's watching 6 hours of TV every day. What do you do then? So we tell her, but she doesn't listen. I said, then what do you do? He said, do nothing. I said, tell me, how long has this been going on? Oh, it has been going on for the last 8-10 years. So I said, when it's good 10 years, she was 8 years old. And when she did it at that time, what did you do? He said, nothing. I said, good luck to you. You did nothing in the last 10 years, and now you want her to cheat. Who is good? Who needs counseling? Who needs counseling? And you are chief secretary? Who made you chief secretary? No wonder you are destroying the country. Hello? No wonder you are destroying the country. You should be thrown out. Folks, we need to understand where are the issues. Folks, let me share with you one: physical strength, mental strength, emotional strength, relationship strength, financial strength, and spiritual strength. Now, why physical strength? Because physical strength gives us stamina, sustenance, energy, and besides, physical strength impacts our decision-making process. Folks, we notice one thing. When we are physically unwell, the kind of decisions we end up making, probably we would never make such decisions when we are physically strong. Would you agree with me? Yes. We would never make such decisions. And go check out. Only the strong can help the weak. The weak cannot help the weak. In a hospital, they always have strong people to look after the sick. They don't have the sick looking after the sick. So we need to become strong. We have to be strong. And keep in mind, we cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. Yeah. I repeat, by the way, these are not my words. This is Lincoln's words. We cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You cannot enrich the poor by empowering the rich. You must make them develop their own strength you have. That is how nations are built. Folks, I was addressing about 2.5, 3 years ago, about 1,000 medical doctors from all over the world. So right ahead of me, there was a senior official from the Niti Aayog. You are familiar with the Niti Aayog, aren't you? Yes. That is the advisory body to the Prime Minister. So this man came ahead of me and kept saying, we are the 5th largest economy in the world. They hear this, we're the 5th largest economy in the world. And getting to be 4th, and very soon getting to be 3rd. And our GDP is the highest in the world. And we are spending 7-8 lakh crores, 7-8 lakh crores in skill development. And he went on and on and on, 8 lakh crore skill development. Well, after he finished, I, out of courtesy, only out of courtesy, I acknowledged what he said. So I said, sir, skill development is important. But since you are the advisory body, I said, sir, organizations and countries are not built on skills. They are built on character. And through you, kindly convey my message to the Prime Minister. If he doesn't like it, that's his problem. I said, look, you have a skillful doctor who lacks character, will do useless surgeries, useless procedures to them. A sick person is not a patient, but a target. To a skillful lawyer who lacks character, a matter that can be resolved in 5 hearings will take 500 hearings. A skillful judge who lacks character will give judgments of no justice. Are you with me, sir? Yeah. A skillful civil servant who lacks character will himself become mafia. A skillful politician who lacks character will sell his country for money. He will sell his mother for money auction out there. And I said, since we are Indians, and I said, we are familiar with our Ramayans and the Mahabharats. And I said, in the whole Ramayana, everywhere, Ravan comes up very strongly. And I said, Ravan was a very, very learned person. Yes, no? Yes. What did he lack? I said, then what are you doing? You are only building more Ravans. You're very skillful guy. This is work. I said, you got your basics. You missing your basics. Folks, let me share with you. We opened our office in Singapore about 30 years ago. And there was a conference by a Swiss outfit. I don't know, they sometimes call it mini Davos or something. I don't know what it is, but whatever the heck it is. This is only about a month and a half ago it took place. And they invited me to address. Folks, just to share, and it was little India-centric, so I did bring in the India element in there. I said, 1947, do you realize that in this world, Japan was destroyed, totally destroyed. Germany had no manpower. Everybody was killed. 14-year-old boys were killed. If they could hold guns, they were shot. South Korea, North Korea, they were destroyed. Taiwan was nowhere. China was occupied by Japan. Singapore was non-existent. We got independence at that time. Go look at these countries where they are today. Go look at where these countries are today. Check what happened, what brought them to this level. And you have advisory committee. You need to check your advisory committee. Who's advising who? And you know something? Many times people say the leader is good, but his advisors are bad. You hear that? Yes, no? Yes. But tell me, who chooses his advisors? You see, keep in mind, we do not get advisors in life the kind of people we want. We get advisors the kind of people we are. We don't get friends in life the kind of people we want. We get friends in life the kind of people we are. You know what? Comfort level. A crooked entrepreneur will have a crooked attorney, crooked accountant as his advisor. A honest entrepreneur will have an honest attorney, honest accountant as advisor. We get advisors the kind of people we want, the kind of people we are. Folks, we need to get our basics right. Now, coming back, and I said, look at this. Singapore was not existent at that time. Singapore got independence in 1965. It was thrown out, separated by Malaysia, because they said it is a liability on us. It was kicked out. Singapore has no drinking water, no oil, no natural resource. They don't even have land. And by the way, it was the drug capital of Asia. And corruption was rampant. Nothing happened till you bribed people. And communal problems were heavy. Who was fighting who? Chinese, Malay, Tamil, Euro-Asian, they were all fighting with each other. They had major problems and no money, nothing. But at that time, one person took over. And his name was Lee Kuan Yew. And he said, I will build my nation on 5 principles. Folks, hear this. He said, I will build my nation on 5 principles. He said, number 1, we would have zero corruption in this country. Folks, go check out Transparency International. It is the second most honest country in the world. First is Denmark, New Zealand, and they fall into right here. And hear this, about 2 or 3 years ago, one minister was found corrupt. You can Google it. And within a few minutes, the guy was in jail. So at this meeting, I asked one of the guys who was a member of parliament, I said, tell me, what was the charge? What was the charge? And what was the amount embezzled? What was it? Amount is not important. But then he said to me, the charges were of conviction where somebody gave him a bike. Bike! Who gave him the bike? Formula One. Formula One came into Singapore and they gave him a bike and a few bottles of alcohol and liquor, and the amount involved probably, he said, was less than $100,000. And after that, he was in jail. 2 years ago, China, there was a minister found with $20 billion of corruption charges. He was hanged, executed publicly. Publicly. Folks, no wonder these countries are moving up here. And one person said to me, Mr. Khera, when you talk of corruption, haven't you seen in Japan there was corruption? In the last 75 years, there were one or two prime ministers that were found corrupt. And I said, what happened? 3 hours later, where were they? They were in jail. But here, when somebody is found corrupt, what happens? They become a bigger leader. I said, don't you see the difference? And let me share with you, since the last few months, I've stopped hearing the news. It is totally negative. And I do have some foundation, country first. I am in the Supreme Court. I am challenging many, many things in the Supreme Court, what is going on right now. But let me share with you, when I came 2 weeks ago, I was taking a flight and I overheard at the airport. One man said to his colleague that when Ratan Tata died, the whole country was mourning. The whole country was mourning. And everybody's faces dropped and they felt, taxi drivers, hawker stalls, they felt as if we have lost a guardian. Yes, no? Yes. This was the scenario. But he said, 2 weeks ago, some minister died in some accident, and one person said, I wish he had died 20 years earlier, because he took a lot of our money. And he says, what a rascal. Look at this, the legacy that we are talking about. And I have put in my book, You Can Achieve More, a statement by Lee Kuan Yew. You must have heard the name Marcos from Philippines. Yeah. You see, he was convicted of embezzlement. He was convicted of embezzlement. Not charged, but convicted. And he was exiled.
Yeah.
But then, when he died, his body was brought back to Philippines. And he was given the honor of a state burial. Honor of a state burial. And Lee Kuan Yew, by the way, I have reproduced his words in my book, reproduced them. And he said, Lee Kuan Yew said, there is something wrong with the character of these people. Somebody who has looted his country, looted his mother, how can he be honored with the state burial? There is something wrong with the character of those people. Folks, you want to build a nation. Start looking at building character. Are you with me? Yes. There is no other answer. You can do all curriculums you want, and you can go to check any university you want. Sir, nowhere in the world. My kids have been in US studying all best colleges and have done MBA. They don't teach this stuff. They're not teaching this stuff. And I'll share with you, what is it? By the way, IIM Nagpur, we signed up. The MBA students are going through our leadership program now. Akshay, I hired an MBA. I thought today is the fashion, get the right guys. I don't think I shared with you this one. We did a program for the Tata's Range Rover car. It was a 4-day leadership program. So generally, I go 1 day earlier, and maybe sometimes if I don't have the flight, so I come back 1 day later, so that 4-day really becomes 5 or sometimes 6 days. It ends up that way. Now, when I go for a 6-day leadership program, and I'm doing, I carry my underwear, socks, everything, but I don't carry 6 underwears and 6 pair of socks and six. I don't carry all that stuff because it becomes too many bulky things. So I took this guy with me. I said, maybe he's going to be of help to us. Folks, now, I do change my underwear and socks every day, so I wash it. Every second day, I wash it myself I don't give it to the laundry. You know why? In a 5-star hotel, washing underwear costs $500, $600, $700. Because buy one for that price. So I don't give it, so I wash it myself. But this guy was giving his underwear lottery for laundry. And with the bill came, I saw 3,500 or something like that laundry. I said, what have you done? He said, I got my underwears. MBA. So I asked him, supposing you were to pay the bill, now my client is paying. And by the way, if I build my stuff, my client will never ask me. My client will never question me. But I said, if you were to pay this bill, would you have given it like this? He said, no, but you know, says, you know something? You're a dishonest rascal. Which school is teaching this, sir? Show me one, including all the Ivy League. Show me those names. Now that I'm teaching all this stuff, is this not an integrity issue?
That's why people say MBA वहाँ पे करा.
Okay, and coming back to share, and my team goes with me. They are outside. Even the sir Nepal se jo, the person who's standing out there, he's been with me 40 years. 40 years, he's with me. And the other guy, Rohit, he's been with me 18 years. And let me share with you, these were domestic servants in a house when they joined. There were guards and chaprasis there. They travel with me today all over and stay with 5-star hotels. And they are very clearly instructed, look, enjoy, eat what you want, but just because somebody else is paying the bill, don't abuse it. Don't pay. I said, order one dal, one sabji, and if you want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rotis, 10, doesn't matter. Don't stay hungry, enjoy. But don't order and waste here. Just because somebody else is paying it. Personally, when I go out, now I do not drink alcohol, but whenever I go out anywhere, people sometimes find out that I'm there. They want to come and have dinner with me. So once in a while, I let them have it. But even though I don't drink alcohol, I do offer if they want to have it. And in case they want to have alcohol, I just pull out my American Express and I pay for the drinks myself. I'm not here to put it on my company account. Even if I do 1 or 2 drinks, probably they might not even question it. But this is not here for entertainment. And I order 1 dal, 1 sabji. And in case somebody else is coming, if 2 or 3 people come and join me, then I pay for the entire amount. But if there's only one person, and there are no drinks, then 1 dal, 1 sabji is good enough for 2 people. So I order 2 extra rotis, and that I charge to the client. I have no problem with that. Folks, tell me, what are the basics that we are learning? Where are we learning ethics? Now, I'll share with you we took a client for a consulting assignment 4 years ago on a very selective basis. So the man called me up and he says, Mr. Khera, could you do some sales training for our people? So I said, give me a couple of days, let me check them out. 2 days later, I called him. I called the CEO and I said, sir, your people don't need sales training. I said, they need basic training in courtesy, etiquette, manners, integrity. He said, what? I said, yes, sir. They need basic training in courtesy, etiquette, manners, integrity. Folks, I must write this down. This boy has been with me now 18 years. And during the COVID period, we had a major setback. We lost some very heavy monies, very heavy. And we ran into major cash crunch. For the first 1 or 2 months, we paid 100% salary. After that, we had no money. We started paying 50%. And this guy, it was lockdown. He was home. And he said, I said, you need to come and take your check. You know what he said? He said, sir, मैंने 2 महीने तक काम किया नहीं, मैं वैसे कहाँ से ले लूँ आपसे? He said, I ain't there for 2 months. How can I take money from you? You think MBA is teaching this? Basic stuff. So, sir, when we talk of, unless we get our basics right, I don't care what piece of paper you're going to give them, the degree, it doesn't make a damn difference. They will continue. Now they're educated people, they have a degree. You know, somebody said it is better to be uneducated than ill-educated. You see, an uneducated thief will steal goods from the train. Educated thief will steal the entire train. This guy is educated. You teaching strategy? Strategy. You know something? Go tell you they are making projects here. Tell them to go take a strategy for India. They can do a better job than all the advisory deep in the PMO. Not kidding. They're creating all that stuff here. Bottom line comes. This is not fancy stuff. Folks, when I open, and now let me share with you, we took this client from Switzerland as a consulting client. So I said, your people need basic training in courtesy, etiquette, manners, integrity. He said, what does that mean? I said, sir, your salespeople have appointments. They're running late. They don't even have the courtesy to call and say, I'm sorry, I'm running late. And time to call is when? Before you got late or after you got late? Okay. And they walk in, they don't even have the courtesy to say, I'm sorry, I apologize, I kept you waiting. And in case they call, what do they say on the phone? I'm stuck in? Now, traffic has become a real issue all over the world. But many times, they leave only 2 minutes before the appointment and they blame it on traffic. They don't have the, I just need that folder. Just ask them to give the folder for, right? I'll show you something. I want to show you something here. Folks, they don't have the courage, integrity and courage to say, I'm sorry, I did start late. I apologize. I did start late. And we find only the first lie is difficult. Second becomes easier. Third becomes easier. Fourth becomes easier. And fifth becomes easier. And those then I go folder word. Either record. And very soon you come in. And very soon you are dealing with a chronic liar who is a bloody rascal. By the way, rascal is a minor word. Doing do's and thought. Object the dictionary. And tell me, if this is the starting point, hello, my friend, and if this is the starting point, tell me how long will it last? If this is the starting point of a relationship, how long will it last? Tell me, sir, do we need a MBA to understand this? Do we need a PhD to understand this? You know the sad part? After doing MBA, PhD, we still don't understand this. That's the sad part. I shared. Now, folks, one more thing. You hear this phrase commonly used that practice makes perfect. How many believe it's true? Raise your hand. Totally incorrect answer. Folks, practice does not make perfect. Practice only makes permanent whatever you practice. Folks, I repeat, and I'm not playing on words again. Practice does not make perfect. Practice only makes permanent whatever you practice. And many times people say, there's a little lie, when the big one comes, I'll tell the truth. You practice enough little lies in life, when the big one comes, what happens? You end up telling the big lie. People say, this is a little thing, when the big one comes, I'll show courage. You practice cowardice, enough little things in life. When the big one comes, what happens? You end up being a big coward. Folks, practice does not make perfect. If we don't understand all this concept, how the hell are we going to teach our kids? The problem is with the parents. And let me share with you, one more study comes in very clearly that people who lie, they also steal. I repeat, people who lie also steal. And a study was done in the US, 40% of thefts and pilferages in organizations are done by their own employees. 40%. And folks, I was doing a program at Lalit Hotel. This is Lalit's sign. I was doing a program there. Right next to my bed, there was a side table. On the side table, there was a nice small little digital clock. Now, what does a clock cost in a five-star hotel? $1, $2, $5, $10. Price is immaterial. But what was important was, right next to the clock, there was this sign hanging. Fred, what does it say? Can you read this, sir?
This clock is hotel property.
Say it a little loudly.
This clock is hotel property.
You got a nice voice. One more time. Loudly.
This clock is hotel property.
Look, it said, this clock is hotel property. Right next to it, there was a nice little lamp. And next to the lamp, sir, there was another sign. This lamp is also hotel. Tell me, why do they put such signs? This used to be Intercontinental. Why do they put such signs? Because you people, by mistake. And tell me, sir, the person who's staying there is spending $1,000 a night. $1,000 a night! Is he poor? He could buy the hotel. He could buy the hotel. But you know something? This is what they do.
It's a habit. And something that they can from.
Do you have MBA too?
It's a water degree. And
Sir, what are we doing? That's the question. Folks, why am I sharing this? Look, all of us are hurting. None of us is enjoying this. You know why? Because we care for our children. We care for our country. That's why I'm talking here. Are you? But you know something? There are some people who'd rather be ruined by false praise than be helped by constructive criticism. There are people like that too. Folks, I could go on, but let me stop here on this, but let me share with you on one more side. Mental toughness. Now, I come from a business family. We had coal mines in India, close to 1,000 people working for us. I didn't create them, I inherited them. And the mines got nationalized, the government took over. And I was just married 4 weeks then, and I remember a year later my daughter was born, and I sold some of the last piece of my mother's jewelry to get released from the hospital. I did not have $10 to buy medicine at the time. Thereafter, I tried my hands on 3 businesses with no money, and I failed in all. Finally, November 13, 1975, I left India. Went to US, initially went to Toronto, and started life with a bucket in my hand, washing cars door to door. For about a year and a half, I was washing cars on the street. And totally by accident, I got into selling life insurance, which in my opinion was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. Now, why do I say that? Folks, selling life insurance has been considered to be one of the toughest things to sell in this world. You see, selling clothes, car, house, much easier. You can touch and feel and touch and feel and touch and feel and touch and feel. But you know something? Selling life insurance, all you're doing is talking something and say, well, if this happens, something will happen. Nobody knows when and what. But at the end, I used to make 15 presentations to make one sale. That means 14 people rejected me to make one sale. Gradually things changed, of course. Then I started making 10 appointments, made 2 sales. Then gradually, as my closing ratio improved, I started selling 6, 7 out of 10. That was a different story. But wait a minute, coming. But most people fail in the life insurance business. There's more than 90% attrition within the first 12 months in the insurance industry. 90% attrition. They cannot take rejection personally. Or they take it personally and they get demotivated and they quit. You know something, folks? Take this home, what I'm going to share with you right now. Sadly, as parents and teachers, we teach our kids only 2 words. Succeed and win, succeed and win, succeed and win, succeed. But life always does not go up, up, up. It also comes. Anybody who says they have not seen it down, they are lying. They're lying. It does come down. But you see, we never teach our kids how to feel and how to lose. And failing and lose, go show me any success story, whether Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or anybody. Show me any success story. It is a story of great failure. It is the story of great failure. See, when we do not know how to fail and how to lose in life, and failure happens to all of us, and when we don't know how to handle that, we get depressed, we commit suicide. Look at what's going on. You talked about something yourself at IIM Nagpur. Sorry, Ahmedabad. Folks, you look at who has the highest suicide rates today? The IITians. They are the cream of the country. You know something? Intellectually, IQ is high, but emotionally, what are we teaching? What are we teaching? Sir, if you want to do service to the society and the nation, build emotional strength. That will make them leaders. Make a concept, I will make a factory of leaders. This institution will produce factory of leaders. Because the world is short of good leaders. There are enough rascals, all right. What was that? Okay. Emotional strength, yeah, that is crucial. Folks, yeah, I started selling life insurance. Within 3 months, my manager called me to fire me for non-performance. And he says to me, he says, Shiv, I've been in this life insurance business 35 years and I've seen some slow starts in my life, but I've never seen one like you. And he says to me, don't come back tomorrow. You're fired. I said, Joe, wait a minute. Before you fire me, at least hear me out. I'm not an educated person. I'm not a doctor, engineer, attorney, accountant. I'm a BCom third division failed in my depth. That's my academics. Folks, no kidding. In my 8th grade, I was the backbencher troubling the front benchers. And out of 6 or 7 subjects, ma'am, out of 6, 7 subjects, I failed in all except one. So my principal called me and said, Shiv, you're paying too much attention on one subject. And out of 28 kids, I was number 27 because the 28 was absent. And I told my manager, I said, Joe, I got a handicap. I'm not an educated person. How do you expect performance out of me? Folks, the moment I said that day somebody spoke very harshly to me. And I'm glad he did. And later on I realized it was not anger, it was concern. And folks, I still remember, I can visualize in his room, cabin, standing there, the man was sitting behind the desk, and he says to me, you shut up and listen to me. By the way, he didn't say this politely. He shouted at me. Now I can't shout at this time. He shouted at me and said, you shut up and listen to me. And he says to me, you don't have a handicap. You have a bad attitude. And he said, it is people like you who not only ruin their own lives, but they also ruin their family's life too. And he says to me, do you know who has a handicap in life? He said, the doctor, engineer, attorney, accountant, they all have handicaps. I said, boy, I never heard that one. How do they have handicaps? He said, go check out all over the world. It is generally true. Exceptions different. They all have chosen their field, they're stuck. They all have chosen their field, they are stuck. And he says to me, you haven't chosen your field. Don't you see the world is open to you? I said, Joe, I never thought from that point of view. He said, now that you are fired, he said, you had all the time to think his thing. And he said, leave my office. Folks, I left his office 47 years ago that night. That evening, there was a program by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, the man who wrote the book Power of Positive Thinking. You heard the name, folks? Yes, no? Okay. I attended the program, paid $39, which I get there. And that day, Dr. P looked at everybody and he says, you people appear so cool, calm, comfortable. It appears nobody has a problem. And then he asked, does anybody have a problem or who doesn't have a problem? So everybody raised their hand. Then he said, how many people would like to get rid of their problem? Again, everybody raised their hand. Then Dr. P said, while I was coming here, I came across a place where I saw some people lying down, all comfortable, totally relaxed. They had no problem whatsoever. How many people would like to know where that place is? Again, everybody raised their hand. Then Dr. P said, 2 blocks away from here, there is a cemetery. There are people lying there, all comfortable, totally relaxed, they have no problem whatsoever. Then he asked how many people would like to get rid of the problem. Nobody raised their hand, everybody put their hand up. Now, folks, then what Dr. Peel said, he said, folks, remember, problem is a sign of life. So long as we are alive, we shall have problems. The day we have no problem, we'll be dead. And when you're running short of problems, watch out, he's calling you. That's the time to get on your knees and pray. You stop trusting me anymore, send me some problems. Folks, but that day, Dr. P gave a prayer, which in my opinion is the gist of life. And if this prayer goes to every student in this world, I think it makes a lot of sense. The prayer goes like this. It's called the serenity prayer. It says, God, grant me the serenity, accept the things that I cannot change, and courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference, what I can and what I cannot. Analyze this little prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. Now, question is, can we change everything in this world to suit ourselves? Answer is no. Can we mold and manipulate everything to suit ourselves? Answer is no. See, folks, there are some things beyond us, such as I didn't choose my parents, neither did you. I didn't decide where I was going to be born, neither did you. If this is my height, the color of my skin, there's nothing I can do about it. And granted, some people are born deformed. And sometimes bad things do happen to good people for no fault of their own. What wrong did they do? Who knows? So it says, what I cannot change, let me accept it graciously. Because many times in life, we keep fighting the things we just cannot change. And we bring stress into our lives, we become paralyzed, and we become unproductive. So it says, what I cannot change, let me accept it graciously. And if I can change, then give me the courage to do it. And wisdom, know the difference what I can and what I cannot. Folks, when I wrote my book, Live While You're Alive, with the subtitle, Take a Break Before You Break Down. And I took this thought 2 steps forward, and I wrote in that life is full of choices and life is full of compromises. Seems like a contradiction, but not really. How is life full of choices? Sir, if I ill-treat you, I've chosen to be ill-treated, haven't I? If I treat you with discourtesy, I've chosen to be treated with discourtesy, haven't I? If I light up a cigarette, I've chosen to invite cancer, haven't I? And if I drink and drive, I've chosen to invite an accident, haven't I? And if I exercise every day, I've chosen to invite good health, haven't I? And if I eat too much every day, I've chosen to be obese, haven't I? And if I tell lies, I've chosen to lose my credibility, haven't I? Yes. Now, this is very important. Folks, life is full of choices, but keep in mind, we are all free to the point of choice. But after we make our choices, the choice controls the chooser. You get no more choice. It's over. We are all only free to the point of choice. But after we make our choices, the choice controls the chooser. We have no more choice. Now, how is life full of compromises? Folks, it is well said that in life, we cannot choose the cards that are dealt to us. What we can choose is how we play the game. And sometimes nature gives the lemon. The choice is ours. Do we cry or do we make lemonade? That's a choice. Now, folks, many times, especially the press people ask me, Mr. Khera, people who are successful, don't they make mistakes? And people who fail, don't they do positive things in life? And my answer is that people who are successful, they do make mistakes. But Sir Rajesh, I've learned one thing, that making a mistake once in a while does not mean failure. Repeating the same mistake again and again is what makes failure. Are you with me? And doing something positive once in a while does not bring success. Repeating the same positive behavior again and again is what brings success. So what is success? Series of positive decisions in life is called success. And series of negative decisions in life is called failure. And that's really what we're talking. Now, folks, after I finished Dr. P's program, I went back to my manager. And I said, Joe, don't fire me. Give me one more shot. I make a commitment to you. I won't let you down because of my effort. But if you fire me today, I don't know where to go. And the only place I know where to go is go back to washing cars. And I said, I don't want to do that anymore. I got a little daughter. I said, please withdraw the papers. He looked at me and he said, Shiv, that's not your small one, that's your big one. And he says to me, I'll let you stay here only if you make a commitment not to me, but to yourself. Folks, he says, if you make a commitment to yourself, I'll draw the papers. Folks, that day I made a commitment. And he would do the papers. And that was one of the turning points in my life. And don't we all have some turning points? Yes, no? Yes. He would do the papers. And that year I went ahead, sold over $1 million. Next year, 3 million. Year after, 5 million. Moved on to the US. Got into 3 businesses. I bought out a company out of California in 1984. Started the New Jersey operation with no clients. And I sold my company with close to 500 clients for a decent sum. Now, why do I share my life with you? Folks, when he said to me, make a commitment to yourself, that day I understood the difference between a promise and a commitment. Folks, what is the difference between a promise and a commitment? Somebody raise your hand, please. Yes, ma'am.
Brothers. Okay, so wants.
Man, you with this book. You see, she said, promise is an agreement we make with the world. Commitment is an agreement we make with ourselves. And we've exceeded our 15 million. You guys stay there. We've succeeded our 15 million copies of our books. Give it a big hand, please. Thank you. He said, you can achieve more. If you want to stand out, you need to do something outstanding. Okay. Now, folks, a second lesson I learned was I kept feeling all my life and kept blaming the whole world for my failure, not realizing that I was my own biggest problem. Nothing changed outside, but something changed inside, and the direction my life changed. Folks, let me ask you, many times in life, aren't we our own biggest problem? Yes, no? Yes. And third lesson I learned was when my manager said to me, you shut up and listen to me. That day, I learned one major lesson. That sometimes in life, you got to be unkind to be kind. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Sometimes in life, you got to be unkind to be. Leadership is not a popularity contest. Parenting is not a popularity contest. And folks, Sadly today, I hear so many parents. By the way, my next book is on parenting. I'm coming up with it. And today's parents tell the kids, do what feels good. Do what feels good. Haven't you heard this say? Parents, do what feels good. Do what feels good. Do what feels good. You know, I come from the old school. And they, I don't know, I don't know how far apart we are in the age, but I come from the old school. Our parents said, feeling good is a natural outcome of doing good. See, how can you feel good when you don't do good? See, if you are good, you do good, you feel good. How can you feel good? Now, the question is there something called good and bad? Is there something called good and bad? Or everything is subjective? You see, how many agree that values keep changing from person to person, situation to situation? How many agree with that? Please raise your hand. Okay, folks, all of you need coaching. All of you need raise. All of you who raise their hand, you need coaching on values. Folks, if values keep changing from person to person, situation to situation, mean you got no values. How can it change? Folks, I was doing a program in the US. And when we came to this point, one person came up, I believe it was the press, and said, Mr. Khera, you were saying there's something called right and wrong. I said, yes, I am saying that. Then he says to me, haven't you heard the statement that nothing is right or wrong? Your thinking makes it so. Who gave this statement the first time? Shakespeare! The guy says, you are contradicting Shakespeare. I said, so what? I disagree with Shakespeare. Shakespeare said nothing is right or wrong. Your thinking makes it so. So I said, that means everything is subjective. So, but you are saying there are rights and wrongs. So I asked him, I said, sir, if there are no rights and wrongs, and everything is subjective, then every criminal in this world should be released. Who says they are wrong? You said they are wrong? They didn't think so. Oh, keep arguing. If there are no rights and wrongs in this world, then Hitler was totally right. Who says he was wrong? You say he was wrong? He didn't think so. Don't keep arguing. And let me ask you one more thing, closer to home. Somebody you leave this auditorium and somebody takes a knife and stabs it into your kidney here and twists it 3 times and blood oozing out of your system. You tell him, my friend, you're doing it wrong. He said, you haven't read Shakespeare. What nonsense do you talk? Shakespeare said nothing is that big. Stupid! Folks, when we do our 4-day program, we talk of Christianity, what values are. There is something called universal values. And when we talk of values, we don't talk of your and my values, we talk of universal and eternal values. Universal means they cross country, cross culture, cross religion. That's called universal. And eternal means they were here before we came, and they will be here after we are gone. Yeah. That is called eternal. If you don't understand that basic stuff, what the hell are you going to bloody well teach? Folks, and the 4th lesson I learned was, I was on 100% commission. See, insurance by and large is sold on commission. Now, if I didn't sell, I wouldn't get any money. I had no money. But I saw there were some people in the company who were getting paid salaries, but they were not doing the job. Folks, that is the time, Rajesh, that is the time I learned the difference between making money versus earning money. Making money is criminal, earning money is spiritual. Making money is criminal, earning money is spiritual. What's the difference? When you earn money, you put your energy and ethics behind. Sir, you are from IIM, and I know many colleges in the US. Show me one place that is talking this language. I haven't heard this before. I don't think you have heard this before. What we are talking, big difference between earning and making money. Most people want to make money way if you want to earn it. I'll share with you an example. Gallup did a global survey, and it said 63% of people who go to work, they're disengaged. Means they don't do the job. An additional 24% are actively disengaged, means they don't let others do the job. Folks, that leaves only 13% of people who go to work actually do work. This is the fact, and I believe this study to be true. Go check out in your own offices. Tell me, is this not an integrity issue? And second thing, same study said one more thing. With social media the way it is, when people go to work during working hours, they're spending 2, 3, 4 hours on personal social media. Is that what you're getting paid for? Is that what you're getting paid for? When somebody steals your wallet, what do you call that person? A thief. And when we do all such things, what are we? Only thieves. Is that not, which college is teaching this? Folks, we need to get to our basics right. And then come back. You notice one more thing. Today, folks, we work in 20 different countries. The biggest challenge people are facing is in their own organization, including mine and yours, trust and accountability. Two big challenges everybody is facing is trust and accountability. Now, to notice one more thing, that, and you can check it on CCTV cameras too. People's behavior changes when boss is in the office and boss is not in the office, people's behavior changes. Go check out. Tell me, is that not an integrity issue? I mean, if you are honest, whether the boss is there or not, who cares? I mean, you're doing your job. And one more thing. How many times have you heard people talking like this? That I mind my own business. I mind my own business. I go to work, come back. I go to work, come back. I go to work, come back. And I see many things wrong happening in my company, in my organization. Many things. I see people doing wrong, things are wrong, dirty politics, and people are messed up. But I mind my own business. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to ruffle the feathers. I do my job, come back. I do my job, come back. Let me ask you. They see wrong happening. They remain silent. Tell me, is that not an integrity issue? Question is, they see wrong happening. They keep quiet. You know why? They have loyalty to that colleague. Is he paying your salary? Where should they have the loyalty? They should have loyalty to the organization. You know why do they remain silent? Because they expect that when they mess up, they expect the other person to remain silent. Is that not an integrity issue? Folks, I could just go on and on. Bottom line, what builds a nation, what doesn't? I'm just going to close quickly. Mercedes is a client of ours. One of the senior executives wrote an article that with the speed of change, the way things are happening, going in the future, our competitors will not be autocomputer manufacturers anymore. They'll be the Amazon and the Googles. And with the speed of change, the way things are happening, products are getting obsolete. They're getting launched. And knowledge is getting obsolete within 2 to 3 years. Check up engineering medical graduates. By the time they get to the 3rd and the 4th year, what they learned the first year of became obsolete. With this kind of a scenario, either we are in deep trouble or there's a great opportunity for those who are prepared. Would you agree with that? Okay. Now you agreed with that, all right. Question is, how do you prepare for the unknown? How do you prepare for the unknown? So I started penning down an article, which I sent out to a few magazines, very well received. And I wrote in, it has literally become a cliche, the only constant is change. So I wrote in, is there anything else in this world other than change that is constant? And if there is, then why not master only the constants? Then no matter what happens, we are prepared. So I wrote in that going into the future, the only people who will succeed in life are those who master 3 skills. They have never changed and they will never change. 3 skills are: 1, people skills; 2, persuasion skills; 3, prioritizing skills. They have never changed, they will never change. Why do I say people skills? Folks, go check out all over the world. We don't have business problems. We have people problems. And when we take care of our people problems, most of our business problems are automatically resolved. 2, go through history. Our parents, their parents, their parents, their parents, all over the world. We are hired for our skills, but we are fired for our behavior. Yes, no? Yes. Not only as an employed employee, even as a vendor, we are hired for skills, but we are fired for our behavior. 3, you notice, folks, all over the world, the lower a person is in life, 90% of the time goes in technical skills, less than 10% people skills. And higher you go up, guess what happens? It just reverses. Means technology and technicians you can always buy with money. But the wealthiest person in the world must build and create relationships. See, technology and technician you can only buy with money. And it keeps changing. Today you have AI, tomorrow you have BI, then you have CI, then you have DI, and then EI, and then HAV. Keep doing all that stuff. So what? But this is not changing. People skills. 2, persuasion skills. I'm just cutting it short now. Is persuasion skills. Folks, what does persuasion mean? Only 4 words. Only 4 words. Ability. Yeah, I know those, they teach an MBA. Ito. Yes. I mind talking simple language. Ability to influence, negotiate, convince, and sell. 4 words. Who doesn't need it? There are people who say, I'm into IT, I'm into operation, I'm into finance. I don't have public dealings, I don't need all that stuff. They are demonstrating this basic foolishness. Who doesn't need it? A candidate at a job interview, a boy girl proposing to get married, lawyer arguing in front of the judge, politician giving speeches to get votes. What's he doing? Persuading. What am I doing in front of you right now? This is persuasion. Yeah. See, based on my ability or inability to convince, either mentally right now you're accepting what I'm saying, or mentally you are rejecting what they're saying. Who doesn't need it? And lastly, prioritizing. Folks, look at this. The amount of time-saving devices we have today, we've never had that many in history. And come back to people skills, by the way. I want to come back one last word on the people skills. Today's generation is very tech-savvy. They are phenomenal. They can spend hours and hours in front of that machine. They're very comfortable with the computers. But the flip side is they have become uncomfortable with people. Are you with me? Yes. They become uncomfortable with people. And on this planet, you have to still, whether we like it or not, yes, we need to live. And prioritizing, look at the paradox. The number of time-saving devices we have today, we've never had that many in history. Yet, we don't have time. You know why? Because somewhere we messed up our priorities. And folks, I'm not lecturing here, I'm guilty myself. I messed up many places myself. And when we mess up our priorities, we forget to distinguish between what's urgent and important. Very interesting thing is, whenever we ignore what is important, it converts into urgent. See, health is important, not urgent. Exercising every day is important, not urgent. If I have a crucial meeting tonight and I cannot exercise, it's not the end of the world. But if I ignore my health long enough, guess what? I'll end up in the hospital. See, funny thing is, you ignore what is important, it converts into urgent. See, in life, relationships are important, but they're not urgent. But if you ignore relationship long enough, guess what happens? You start talking to real lawyers. Folks, I want to close here. My one more book is on the pipeline, which is called Relationship. Today, relationship has become a big, big issue for all of us. Yes, no. And I'm talking of the today's generation, Gen Z, D, I don't know, keep changing X, Y, Z, and whatever you call you, tomorrow will be another name, who knows. But you know something, the breakdown the way is happening today in the current generation, you know, they are living by one philosophy. Love at first sight, divorce at first sight. Okay, all right, with those words, God bless, thank you very much.